Taigi, sveiki atvykę, and this is our last presentation, and I would like to invite our guest from Israel, Shahar Alon, and he's a part of the corporate development team at Checkmarx. So let's listen to his presentation, why you should focus on career on cybersecurity. You're welcome, Shahar.
So, apologies, I have a blackout, I forgot everything I need to say. I'm kidding, nice to meet all of you. My name is Shahar Alon, I'm from Checkmarx. Checkmarx is a company that focuses on application security, software security, everything related to whatever developers are doing from the security point of view. Let's start. So, I'm going to say a few things that are known to all of us, I think, and this is just a reminder of issues and topics. And I think all of us remember John Lennon and the song Imagine, and this would be the world we want to live in. Everything is great. Everybody is friendly, no wars, no enemies. Imagine all people. But actually, the reality is a bit different because we live in a world that is very, very complicated, very dangerous. People around us are friendly people. They think creativity, innovation. They think how to make the world better. But there are others who think everything the opposite. And when we do cybersecurity, we basically deal with the way to protect our networks and our platforms to avoid unpermitted access to everything that is around us, and we rely on it. Of course, terror is our number one enemy, and when we say terror, we need to understand this is national funded terror. It's not one terrorist who wakes up in the morning. It's actually institutionalized terror power that is trying to vulnerable to make our platforms and our societies vulnerable. Up in the air, on every given moment, there are 8,000, 9,000 aircrafts in the air. Just think what happens if something goes wrong with the satellites, with the communications, with the radars. Our people, our friends, our families are on these airlines every day, every month, every year. Trade secrets. Think what happens if you are a company, you build the most amazing innovation and invention and a patent, and you lose all of that because somebody hacked your system and stole all your trade secrets. It is known that the Chinese stole all the blue marks, all the programs of the F-35 airplane. Just think how many hours of engineering time of engineers, American engineers, went down the drain in 1 second because somebody took all of these plans from the Americans. Business delays. Let's say you are an amazing company. You serve thousands of customers every day, bank accounts, flights, mobile phones, and all of a sudden this goes down. The bank doesn't operate, the airline doesn't take off for a few days. Think about the interruption. And we could go on and on. Sony was hacked by North Korea. They stole a movie Sony was supposed to release, and all the creativity went down in like millions of dollars. Financial stability. If something goes wrong in your personal bank account, it's okay. But if all of us now go to the cashier, the ATM, to take money and it doesn't work, it's going to be some big worries for all the banks around us because people start to worry and they start to think, hey, shall I trust the bank, shall I not? You see, this is an old headline about Ukraine. All of a sudden, there is a chaos in national banks, the airport, the electricity provider. Privacy. Often people tell me, Shahar, I don't care. I don't have any interesting information on my email, on my Facebook. I don't care. Who cares? If they read it, they will be so bored, I don't care, but think privacy from a democratic point of view. If all of our information is now falling in the hands of bad people, in order to take advantage of it in the right time, then we have a big problem, and privacy is a big issue in cybersecurity. This was a company in the USA, 143 million personal data of customers were breached and fallen in the wrong hands. Think you are a mom and you don't reach your kid on your phone. Multiply that by 100 million mothers in a country that cannot call their friends, their family, their husband at one point. Multiply that by days, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, complete chaos. Electricity, I don't need to say, a whole country that goes to dark for a few days. Police without internet, without communication is no police. You need cybersecurity, you need something to protect all their networks. And of course, liability, you're a big CEO, you have amazing products, you serve your customers, but you didn't put enough energy on putting cybersecurity tools in place. Basically, making your whole big performance very vulnerable because your company could go down without the right protection. This is what I told you. This is accurate information. Information was stolen about the best American jet ever. Now, when people say hackers, they think of a guy or a girl with a hoodie, and they say, oh, he's a hacker, he sits in the dark, there is some smoke coming out of, from the cigarette, and he's playing, doing some coding, sending some information. But actually, guys and girls, hackers are not this typical hacker. America, true, has the biggest capabilities in hacking in the world, but they are a democracy. They have policies in place. They use it only if permitted. There are other countries who use mega power, mega investments in creating the, cybersecurity technologies and capabilities. Remember that hacker with the hoodie. Think Chinese organizations who are dealing with hacking the Western world institutions. This is just a factory of China, something I saw on the internet. But compare this to one hacker sitting alone versus an institutionalized hacking capabilities, understand what we are playing against. Fake news. There was a time that somebody planted fake news, I think, on either New York Times. I think it was that Obama passed away. This was a fake news, but it crashed the markets for a few minutes. Think money and advantage enemies could take off because of fake news. Whole governments could fall down because of fake news. Stability, political stability. So, about all of this, I will tell you a little bit about the story of Checkmarx and the field that we focus on. All of those systems I presented operate based on software. Developers are creating software that is relevant in many, many fields. All fields that I described relate at the end to software, and this is where you guys come into play. The car of yesterday was a mechanical car. You saw how everything worked. The car of today is a machine, is a computer. Everything is computerized. The car is autonomous. It could drive by itself. You have satellites connecting the cars, navigation systems. A huge hack of this Jeep that was famous. It's found all over YouTube. that a kid could sit in his room and basically take over a whole car. Now think, what happens if enemies, I call them enemies, but bad guys take over a whole fleet of buses, of school buses, or trucks, that they make the truck now like a driving bomb, because the driver does not control it anymore. Think big and try to imagine how vulnerable we are if we are not protected. Now, these are developers, creative people, fun people, optimistic people. The lack of knowledge in security for developers is something that we are aware of, and this is what we want to change. Checkmarx focuses on adding the security capabilities to software developers. And we focus only on software. It could be software developed by developers, and it could be open source components that developers are using in order to build their applications. How credible are these open source components in your application? And I'm telling you guys, I saw other presentations, AI and everything, and I saw the companies. Cybersecurity are regarded in today's society as the superheroes of the tech world. If there is a problem, they are the first people companies call. And this is a job opportunity also, because it means that even if everything goes bad, still developers and security people will have a job. Our founders, 2 people, started with an idea back in the days. Emmanuel is the CEO, Mati is the CTO, has a background in the military. And today we have 850 employees around the world. Israel, USA, Portugal are the main hubs, but also all over Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in South America. Like I said, the platform covers the code itself that the developers are coding, the open source components of the application, and also we provide a training platform to teach the coder what is doing wrong and how he could fix it. It's called Codebashing. It's like an e-game, e-learning platform for software development. Security. One of our cool features is that we're able, you have a file of code, could be 500 lines of code, 500 million lines of code, 500,000 lines of code. Our platform really goes through all of these lines of code and locates the security issues and tells the developer where is the best place to fix the code. So you don't need to fix 1,000 fixes. You just need to fix 2 or 3 places and you fix everything else. This is like how it looks like in a graph mode. These red points are those best fix locations that Checkmarx offers. Today it's a whole platform. Banks, utility companies, gaming companies, software companies all around the world are using it. We support 30 languages, meaning one platform solves a big issue of many languages. And this is about Checkmarx. Now I am going to use my life experience. I'm not young anymore, so I allow myself to give some job advice to you guys. If you ask me what was your career path, I would say that I started as a flower seller, and today I stand here on stage. But I'm also a lawyer in Israel and in New York, and I also worked in education for 6 years. So I had this career shift, and I'm in this company for the last 8 years. So I did manage to stay. Number 1, be a part of an ecosystem. A cybersecurity ecosystem, because you cannot do everything by yourself. You don't know everything by yourself. Just try to be a part of an ecosystem, and if there isn't one in Vilnius, build one together with the people around you. I'm trying to promote and push big companies to have a rule that they on their hiring, they hire at least 20% junior hires for the companies. It's a big problem because companies are looking for more experienced employees usually, but it's like a cycle. I don't have experience. Nobody wants to hire me. How would I get experience? What do you want me to do? So there is a way, and I'm going to touch it a little bit. But basically, companies need to, as a whole, decide that they're opening up their positions also to juniors. If there are accelerator programs here in the city, join one. It's a great way to get experience. And now experience. In Israel, the majority of the cyber professionals get their experience in the military. That's a great place to do because it's a government organization. They bring you on board, they teach you everything, and then you work there for 2-3 years. That's great experience. In a country like Lithuania, this is not a natural, and you need to find a way to allow the young generation to gain experience in another way. It could be that the government declares that they have programs to motivate companies to hire junior developers, junior tech people. It could be that governments hire for themselves also junior people. So you have all the government ministries, the institutions, the police, they will focus also on hiring junior hires. To get more free experience is to contact companies like Checkmarx and say, hey, Checkmarx, I'm really interested in your product. Do you have a session that could teach me how to use it? Now, it is my interest that you guys know how to use my tool. Why? Because if I have no users, I have no customers. If I have no customers, I go down. So I want to make this available. And there are hundreds and thousands of tech companies who are looking to people to know their platforms. And you could just send an email to the right person via LinkedIn and say, any chance I could learn about your product? Then put it on your CV, and then you are already shining a bit more than everybody else. Personal relations, I wrote just on LinkedIn. There are so many people. Everything is so accessible. You could contact somebody and say, listen, I'm not looking for a job, but can I ask you a few questions about what you do on your day-to-day? Can I come for 2 hours just to see how you do your cyber operations? Can we come as a group to learn from you? You are the CISO of a bank. Can we come just for 2 hours? When you have no experience and now you have 2 hours with the CISO of a major bank, that you learn from him what he's doing, that's already something that is more than you had before. The other part of my wisdom is that you need to make the right noise. And by that, you know, I didn't make it to the Israeli opera. You know why? Because I didn't make the right noise. I didn't know how to sing. But I did make it to other places. And we are all, as a social organism, we are judged by the things we say. And when you look for a job, people try to see what you put in your CV. Make sure you make the right noise. Use the right buzzwords. See what they are looking for and just find those terminology that they're looking and learn about it. Include it in your CV. Super important. You have no experience and you're one more candidate. How can you shine? You could write a blog about a term that nobody knows too much about. You don't have the knowledge for yourself. You could contact that person in that position, in that bank, and say, listen, I'm writing an article, and I want to explain this and this terminology. Can I interview you? It's a win-win. You wrote an article. He got some publicity. We, the community, got more knowledge about something new that we didn't know before. And be generous. This means that if you go to a job interview and you didn't make it, you could reach out to your friend, or you could tell the interviewers and tell them, listen, maybe I am not fit for the job, but I have a friend. I made it as a policy for myself. Anytime somebody asks me to help them with a job, I dedicate those few minutes to send their CV to whomever I can. It takes sometimes 1 minute to change a life of a person who's looking for a job. Some hot topics, if you want to advance your cybersecurity knowledge, these are the hot topics, in my opinion, in our field of application security. So application security, open source security, cloud security, API security, infrastructure as code, hot topic, supply chain security, and cloud native application security. These are really the trendiest terms and fields people in cybersecurity could look for a job or to advance their knowledge more and more. We made the right noise, I guess. We, from a small company in Israel, we became exposed to the whole world in our field, and this is really great. We did get support from the Israeli government in funding that we got from them, connections and things like that. This is also the opportunity to say thank you to Invest Lithuania and to the Vilnius Coding School for inviting me and for your friendship over time. And we care for Lithuania, and we want just a friendship and a partnership. So thank you to the Vilnius Coding School and to Invest Lithuania for inviting me. I think I am done. Just understand, guys and girls, you are at the peak of your life right now. It only gets better and better. Don't be afraid to make the right move, to learn something new, to expose yourself to new fields, because life is all about what we experience at that moment. And trust me, we have a good life right now, and we could only take it better. You're young. I see you're beautiful. Just take it to the peak. So remember, the world runs on code. We secure it. Thank you very much.